course.
man. We run through it. We run through it, dude. Like I have coffee every day, every day.
Well, I see you're like up in the morning, like super early. Like
Yeah.
have you always been an early riser like that?
Um, as a kid, you know, my bus used to come at 7 in the morning, so my grandmother used to get me up at 6. And just throughout the years, you know, you get used to getting up early like that. So probably the last 2, 3 years, I've just been waking up at like 2 in the morning now, and between 2 and 4, I'll wake up no matter what.
Yeah. Thinking time.
I guess so. I guess so.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad that action has been a good part of that in the morning for you. And we appreciate your support for sure. It's I was never a coffee drinker. I was actually surprised. I was like, this stuff's actually pretty darn good.
A couple of my friends asked me about it already and asked me how did I like it. And I'm like, I'm not like, I don't brag about coffee. Who truly brags about coffee? You know what I
Right.
mean? But I was like, I actually like it. It's really good. You know, it's got everybody's like, yeah, it's made from what, Guatemala?
Yeah. So it's like a passion project for him. So he went a few years ago down to Guatemala and sourced these beans from one of 33 actual like coffee farms in Antigua. So it's like legit stuff. So I'm glad to hear it passes the taste test.
It is. It is. It is.
Good. How have you been holding up during all this craziness? You staying busy?
Maintaining, trying to, you know, it's only so much we all can do,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean, it's never fun when you know, the checks aren't coming in like they used to, but
Yes.
you know, we're maintaining.
Good. I mean, I know you recently I'm sure you've stayed active ever since your retirement and everything, but I know you've kind of recently gotten more active and see you working out a ton. I see you with the champ quite often. What kind of impact? I mean, I'm sure a guy like you has access to a lot of resources even through a time like this, but I mean, has it been a noticeable impact on a training regimen for you and kind of where your goals have been?
Well, not really. For me, I was taking my time getting back in it anyway, you know. So my training wasn't supposed to really get ramped up until April, May, but I mean, I'm not gonna let it like discourage me and not like keep trying to like, you know, train in some kind of way. But I'm not stressed over it. I'm not like hurting like a lot of fighters are, or desperate to get into a gym.
Yeah.
You know, I work out when I work out, and I train smart. I whenever I train with my guys, we aren't side by side. We are, you know, legit 5, 6 feet, 7, 8, 9, 10 feet from each other, you know. So
Hmm.
we really do respect each other's space and really try and get stuff done. Every time we finish using the equipment, we rub it down, you know what I mean, clean everything up. So everybody's being very clean. I don't even think anybody's like truly even grappling or anything like that. You
Yeah.
know, if we do anything, it's strength and conditioning and some pad work.
Now, how much has that changed for you over the years? I mean, the story for Rumble's been it's like 170 to you're fighting heavyweight in World Series at one point in time. I mean, have you changed your approach?
My views on MMA definitely changed throughout the years, but my killer instinct didn't. You know, the mission was always to seek and destroy, no matter what. You know,
Yeah.
and that's what I always try to do whenever I fight. I'm like, that's like, I like Cowboy a lot because Cowboy is a do or die type of guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He either goes out on his shield, you know what I'm saying? Just like he puts everybody else on their shield. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I like that. You go in there, you want to get the job done, and it's do or die. Let's go,
Yeah.
you and me. You know, I like that. The business side of it, it still has a long way to go. Um, you know, but in due time, things will get better. You know, I just hope everybody is safe for the fights coming up this weekend. You know,
Mhm.
hopefully nobody gets sick. hopefully they can pull this off and everybody's straight. Because if they don't pull it off, there's gonna be some backlash from that.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited that Dana and the organization have pushed so hard to keep, really staying on the forefront and being like the organization that is willing to take that risk and that chance. And, you know, I forget who it was. It may have been Pettis or somebody was getting a COVID test done online. I saw he posted a video of getting the swab and stuff. So yeah, it's an interesting new world we live in for sure. But I'm excited that the fights are going to be back.
I think it's good because these guys do need to fight.
Yeah.
These guys need to make a living. We aren't making that NFL and that Major League Baseball and NBA money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got to fight to live. And nobody should have to do that, but this is the case. So hopefully, the guys can put on a great performance and get the money that they deserve, because they're putting their life at risk right now, even more. By traveling, coming around other people that they aren't used to being around, coming around, just different everything, different atmosphere for them. So it's going to be real interesting to see what happens. Hopefully, I hope they pull it off, man. I hope they have like a ton of success with this.
How much of an impact, I mean, I'm sure it affects everybody differently, but on a guy that's fighting with everything you got to worry about anyways, right? The weight cut, your opponent, just the doubt, the fear, all the things that run through a fighter's head going up to that week. And now on top of that, the added stress of COVID and the testing and the worries of staying healthy and not getting sick and what happens afterwards. I mean, I'm sure there's guys that it affects worse, but I mean, can you give some perspective to that?
Well, I don't have a fight, you know what I mean? So I can't speak on it, you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm sure, those guys are going stir crazy right now.
Sure.
Trying to do what they have to do, but trying to be safe at the same time. You're playing with a double-edged sword then, so we'll see. Like I said, I hope those guys, have a ton of success with this event and nobody gets sick.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. So I do got to ask, and I wanted to make sure I hit this with you. You've had some time to be around Mike Tyson recently.
Yeah.
And I saw this video. I mean, what's your take on it? Dude, like I knew he could still throw his hands, right? It's like, that's Mike Tyson. Of course he's going to have the hands. It was the footwork, the quickness that I saw that blew my mind, that man is in his 50s. He looked like he could get in there right now and compete.
Oh, yeah, I would take a body shot from somebody like Anthony Joshua over a body shot from Mike Tyson any day. You know what I mean? And that says a lot, because Anthony Joshua is a huge man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mike Tyson he's just a different human being. There's no other way to put it. You know what I'm saying? He's a different human being. Anybody that can throw a punch with that much speed and power and still make today's champions look slow, that's not right. That's not normal. That's not human. You know what I mean? So it's scary. Like you see how many comments I had just from posting up that video. I think ESPN posted the video, and like everybody else, that video went viral.
Yes, it did.
What I mean? And it's crazy. It's crazy. He just blew right back up, even bigger again.
Just at the right time.
Right time.
I love it too. I'm not complaining.
No, people needed something to talk about.
Yeah.
He gave it to them.
No, for sure, for sure. So, I mentioned earlier about the weights that, all the different weight classes you went through. I think one big thing in MMA right now around weight cutting and in different ways that different organizations handle that. I mean, do you see a time, and what are your thoughts on just, fighters fighting at their natural weight? I think one has something where they're doing hydration tests, and I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think they're trying to be safe about it by, doing all these tests or whatever they're trying to do. But at the same time, they need to have more weight classes.
Yeah.
They definitely need to have more weight classes and be fair, because 10, 15 pounds for anybody is still a lot of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And you got these guys that Um, you know, they fight at 185, but they weigh around 205, 210. They still have to lose that weight. That's still a lot of weight. You know, you got guys that fight at 205 like myself that walk around 230, 235. Let's say 230, 240, between that.
Yeah.
You know, if they had a weight class between 205 and they said, for instance, 225, 230, dude, and then, you know, this thing about the type of beast that they would have that could fight in whatever weight class that is. You know what I'm saying? In the 225, 230 weight class, whatever it is, you know, they're going to have a ton of talent right there. You know, the middleweights will be able to go up and fight at light heavyweight and feel better and healthier, have the strength they need, the speed, the endurance they need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think about all the different possibilities too, because then you have a lot more opportunities to set up larger super fights. If you've got a guy at once, you know, at a 165 that wants to fight, now that type of stuff can happen. You know, I think there was a lot. I mean, think about all the years where people wanted to see the Anderson and George fight, right?
Yeah.
I think something like that, a lot easier to make happen when that weight class is a little bit closer.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, way closer. GSP isn't that big though. Have you seen Anderson Silva in GSP?
I've never seen Anderson in person, but he seems like a much larger man.
No, much larger than GSP.
Yeah.
That would have been a bad matchup, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Too big, too lanky, too long.
Man, Anderson. It's exciting to see a guy like Stylebender come into the UFC and bring some of that back.
I sparred Stylebender. I sparred him a little bit, and hey brother, give me a second. I got like 5% left on my battery.
No, you're good. You're good.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, but like I was saying, man, I sparred Stylebender, and he's crafty. You know what I mean? I brought him in when I was getting ready for John Jones, and I think he had just came off of a fight, a kickboxing fight, and I think I was about a week, maybe 2 weeks into my fighting camp, and I think he had just fought 2 weeks before. So when I'm starting, he's just finishing a fight. Man, he came in there and put a whooping on me as far as stand up for sure. He was hard to hit. It's almost like you have to blitz somebody like him, you know. And to do that, you got to be in some great shape, great shape.
Yeah, I was surprised that Yoel didn't do more of that. You know,
Yoel did a great job though. He did the right thing. You saw that, you know, if you don't create that much, if you don't, you know, if you don't fall for his movements and you just stay calm and composed, he can't set anything up. That's hard to decide what somebody's going to do and set people up if they just don't move.
Yeah.
You know, you get nervous because you're like, these people or whoever it is in front of you isn't stepping or moving the way that I expected them to move.
Yeah, there's a lot of things happening, and even in that kind of back and forth of who's going to take this and go and who's not going to go. And I get it.
Yeah, and so, you know, Yoel, I think he did a good job. It was a boring ass fight, but he did a good job.
Yeah. No, I think Calvin kind of took a different approach, and that's what happens, right? It's got peppered up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, but Stylebender will be around for a while. I think he's going to do great. And unless Paulo Costa catches him, which he's a bulldog, you know what I mean? He's
going to bring it to him.
He will. He's going to pressure him, throw a lot of power. He does have endurance, you know what I mean? Has a good chin, but I'm also wondering if he's like going to gas himself out because he does throw so much power and speed.
And I don't know how that man gets to 185.
Now, he's huge.
He's humongous.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Now, you wrestled in college, right? And you were out in California, junior college national champion you went to the same school Rampage went to, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
My school was Lassen Community College is in Susanville, California, which is up north. It's in the mountains, like up north near Chico State, near Reno. So like in the winter we got snow, like
yeah,
straight up snow. So it was middle of nowhere, but it was fun while it lasted. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The time to be in a small college town like that. It was, to me, it was either you're a correctional officer because they had a prison out there, a guard or whatever.
You know what? I've
Um,
seen that on like one of those late night ID
yeah,
Discovery,
high
like
desert,
lockdown or lockup or something like that.
high desert. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
rough. It's real rough. So it's like half the people out there, dad or somebody works for the prison. That's how it is.
hmm,
And you got the prison, you got the college, and you know the regular hometown crowd. But other than that, you have nothing there. Nothing.
interesting. Now, was that like the first time? Because you're from Georgia. Was that the first time you had like been out to California? I mean, I know you're not like in
Yeah.
Hollywood, but like
Yeah.
huge change of pace for you.
Well, it was in the mountains. It was slow, and I'm from the country, so it really didn't bother me.
So a vibe for you, actually.
Yeah,
No
yeah, it
way.
was. I'm chill like that, so it didn't really bother me. I had to get used to how other people talk. I'm from the country, so I'm used to that country twang. You know what I mean? And then whenever I hear people from the city
Yeah,
actually pronouncing things the way that they're supposed to be pronounced, to me it was weird. I was like, why is this guy talking so proper? You know what I'm saying? But I'm from the country, and when you're from the deep south, you don't know what proper is. Everything sounds proper to us, but coming out of our mouths, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? So, you
it's got
know,
some soul to it.
yeah, yeah. So just going to college and hearing those guys talk the way that they talk, I was kind of weirded out by it, but definitely got used to it. It taught me, it actually made me speak better. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because I understood what they were saying, but they didn't understand what I was saying. And then as you get older, you start getting more common sense. You start getting into the real world. You start getting into business. So you definitely want to talk like you have some type of sense, some type of education.
sure.
So I definitely had to change up my language.
Now, is that a natural transition for you right out of wrestling into MMA, or did you kind of leave school and think wrestling's, the last competitive combat type activity that you'd be doing?
Um, Fighting was not even on my radar, not at all. And at the time I started getting into it, well, when I was in college, I think that was, I forgot who was the man back then, but I'm pretty sure Chuck and Tito were around.
Yeah.
And me and a couple of guys, some of them have fought in Bellator. Um, we messed around and did a little bit of grappling, but at the end of the day, we were just wrestling,
Yeah.
trying to get dominant position over each other, and somewhat some crappy submission that we would try. But it wasn't on my radar, and then I just kind of fell into it after. I think I was out of college about a year and a half before I
Mhm.
actually decided to do it. So I tried it and I just stuck with it.
Were you somebody that fought ever, like as a kid? Was it, you're
I mean,
really not a,
I was tough and I was an alpha male for sure, but I was just an athlete. You know what I mean?
yep.
um, I wasn't trying to get in fights. I wasn't trying to bully people. I'm not gonna say I was the nicest kid all the time. You know what I mean? I knew I was a dickhead a lot of times, so I ain't even gonna front. you know, uh, but for the most part, I never got in fights. And if I got in a fight, I usually lost.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because it's like I was going back through your record and just your career, watching different highlights leading up to this, and I'm like, this guy's no slouch on the mat. Yet he just decided to throw fists at everybody and just flatline people. And I'm like, there's got to be some story. And I'm somewhat disappointed in a joking way that you're not like, man, I used to just beat the piss out of everybody because
No,
it's
dude, I just wanted to be the best at everything I did growing up in sports. You know what I mean?
yeah.
My granddad always preached to me about doing your best and giving it your all, like in everything you do, especially sports. So I played baseball, football, and I wrestled and I ran track. So every play for football, I was all out. Every time I ran track, every event, of course, I was all out. Played baseball, every swing was all out. I run to first base, I'm trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? So, wrestling, I'm trying to like score as many points as I can or pin you. I'm trying to embarrass you,
Mm-hmm.
and break your will. So, I was just that guy that just went for it. You know what I'm saying? So nobody ever bothered me because I was always winning. So whenever you're a kid and you're winning, and then you're in high school and you're still winning, nobody's gonna bother you. They think you're the stud, but I was no stud. I just played my sports and mind my business.
No, that's awesome. And it sounds like your grandfather, your grandparents both played a really big role in kind of instilling that mentality in you.
Yeah, my mother was a drug addict. My dad's an alcoholic. So my grandparents adopted me at the age of 2, and they just pretty much beat it into me not to go left or right. You know what I'm saying? They just wanted me to go
Right down the
straight,
middle.
straight right down the middle, dude. Like don't even veer left, don't veer right. Just keep it moving straight. And so that was their main purpose, and was to make sure I stayed on a straight and narrow path and giving my all and put my focus into something else, so I don't end up going down the path that my mom and my dad. So
Mm-hmm.
they really pushed it, and they also made sure that they were always there, always there. I had football practice, my granddad would come there and watch me practice. I had wrestling practice, my granddad would come to every wrestling practice and watch me wrestle and train. Baseball practice, my granddad would do that too. Every event, I think out of all of my wrestling matches, my record was 177-8 coming out of high school. I
Wow,
think my granddad missed one event, one meet, and that was because he was sick. That was it.
man,
Other than that, he saw everything,
that's
everything,
awesome.
every practice, every mistake I made, I couldn't do anything.
It's really cool to hear that. I had I was lucky enough to have same type of influence. My grandfather passed away when I was fairly young, but he was a huge influence on me. And my grandmother she's risen to fill his giant shoes that was left behind. And to that same thing, man, there was like not a game that she wasn't at. And it's funny because I'm one of like 12 grandkids,
Oh
and
yeah,
then there's another like 4 or 5 great grandkids that are already out there. So it's every one of them can say the same thing. And I'm like, how did she see all of these games? Because I know a lot of them were going on at the same time, but she made it work. And
yeah,
I know that like that instilled at a young age, I had to live up to the fact that people were going to be there and holding me accountable to put forth the effort and such. So I really relate to that.
yeah. And the one time my granddad didn't make it because he was sick, my grandmother came. Other than that, my grandmother never came unless it was like absolutely important. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But my granddad was there like the whole time. But the one
That's
time he
awesome.
didn't go, my grandmother was right there. So I never felt alone.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Now I saw, you're speaking earlier about, kind of getting things continuing to progress on the business side. You recently joined up with Dominance, I saw.
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, what can you talk about that? Because that's pretty, I mean, you just look at the stable of fighters at Dominance and it's just like world champion, world champion,
Yeah.
world champion.
No, I mean Ali has built an empire that I don't think is gonna fall anytime soon. You know, Ali has been sticking by his guys through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm.
Like You know how a lot of guys will say, "Yo, my manager or my agent will fight for me." Like Ali will literally fight for you. If you get in a street fight, guess what? Ali's gonna be in the middle of the fight. Like that's how down of a manager he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
He'll ride with you until the wheels fall off, and that's why everybody loves him. That's why everybody respects him. That's why he has the best of the best
Mm-hmm.
because we knew his loyalty. We know how hard he works, and you don't get that from many managers. You know, a lot of guys are snakes and they try to take advantage. I haven't seen Ali try to take advantage of one single person. I've always seen him defending his people. That was it. So everybody has the wrong idea about who they think Ali is. They have no idea how special he is.
Well, as an outsider, all I can look at is the success that guys have, and it's when you see people that have the leverage of a world championship and they still decide to invest heavily back into the people that are investing into them. I mean, it says obviously a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, like he's how many managers do you know will get out on the mat and truly train with you, spar with you? You punch him in his mouth, his mouth starts when he's like, "Good job, champ," and keep him moving. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He wants to see you succeed. You need help with camp, he'll set it up for you. You hurting with money, he'll give you money. You know what I'm saying? You just need somebody to talk to. He'll talk to you. He'll call you. Dude, it can be 2 a.m. your time. He'll call you just to see how you're doing. You know what I'm saying? In the middle of the night. Well, who wouldn't love a manager like that? You know what
Right.
I mean? Who wouldn't?
No, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. I I'm sure it's obviously you have a couple of horses in the fight this weekend. I mean, what are your thoughts on obviously the big main event with Tony and Gaethje?
Oh man. Both are incredible fighters, really. Two totally different styles, but both are incredible fighters. I just don't know who's the toughest. You know, both of them are like stupid tough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is, I don't think it's gonna be a pickaboo match. You know what I'm saying? I think these guys are actually gonna fight. You know, Justin's trying to get to where Tony is, and Tony's trying to get to something that he feels is his. Which
Mm-hmm.
is a title. But I think Justin is just going to be too much heat. Honestly, I think that forward pressure and just banging and like he'll Justin will take a shot and keep coming. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tony's been. Well, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth. I can't say what I was about to say. I don't think Tony has fought anybody that's going to bring that pressure and that intensity as
Mm-hmm.
Justin Gagey will. That's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
No, I know what you mean. There's
Yeah,
there's going to be 15 hard minutes, definitely,
yeah,
of
yeah,
of some serious chaos.
yeah.
I'm excited. I'm with you, man. It's I've been such a Tony Ferguson fan for a long time, and I've
He's dope.
obviously I've wanted to see this Khabib fight as everybody has, but um, more than anything after that, I was like, I, I think this could be an opportunity for Justin to really show the caliber of fighter that he is, because I
Yeah,
think he gets an unfair knock on a couple of the losses that he had. And he's unapologetic as the way that he goes about fighting. He wants to put on a show for everybody, and I think there's stock in that alone, that it's somebody that's not going to back down from anyone, who's just going to go out there and fight.
yeah,
Um, you know,
yeah. That's a scary man. Justin is like rock'em sock'em robots. He'll just get right in your face and start throwing some heat. And if one of them lands, it can be very bad for you.
yeah.
But I don't think Tony's been hit that hard as Justin can hit either. But Tony has fought beast, nothing but beast. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't take anything away from it at all. I don't take anything away from him at all. He's definitely earned and deserves every bit of success that he has right now.
Hmm.
I just don't think he'll. I don't think he'll be able to beat people like Gagey or Khabib. You know what I mean? But other than that, he's the real deal.
Hmm. As a wrestler, you don't get, have you locked up with Khabib?
No, no. I done heard too many stories about him, man. I respect him enough just for the stories, so I'm good.
Yeah. No, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I mean he's very well respected amongst all of the fighters, no matter what. We respect his beliefs. We respect his credentials. You know what I mean? We respect
mhm.
him as a man. So Khabib is like the real deal.
Yeah, no, he's a scary dude.
Yeah, and he's so calm about it. You got a dude that's just talking the way he talks and doesn't smile. That's
Walk
scary.
softly and carry a big stick, right?
Yeah,
He's like the damn definition of that saying.
dude, that's how he is, man. And he's so cool about it too. It's like, man, whatever. And
Mhm.
he's serious. You know what I'm saying? Like he's dead serious about it. So he's a good guy. He's super
Yeah.
cool.
Excellent. So I see you've got your bare knuckle shirt on.
Yeah,
Some big stuff coming up. I saw Cannon Briggs.
yeah, yeah. He's supposed to
Damn.
be fighting. We're gonna see what happens. Shannon got those. He's got some big fists. He's a big boy. He's a really big boy. I'm not small, but he's a big boy,
Mm-hmm.
and he's not all hype. I do think he can still deliver some power. He's definitely is going to bring attention to the sport. Regardless if he win, lose, or draw. You know, Shannon's going to bring some type of hype and a crowd to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see what he can do. In the squared circle.
Definitely. Was there ever a time where you were considering getting in there and doing something like that?
Nah, nah. You know what? I like bare knuckle. I like
Yeah.
Dave Feldman. I love the entire crew. Everybody's amazing. You know what I mean? They are absolutely amazing. Um, I mean, what I do is crazy, but what they do is like really crazy. You know, so I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna
Yeah.
leave it at that. But if the price was right, I would do it, but it would have to be really right.
So what is the plan for you? I mean, do you have something that's kind of lockstep, or is it touch
Now,
and go? I mean, do
touching
you have a
on.
plan to try to get back in there?
Yeah, I mean, I was doing bodybuilding and stuff for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
trying to at least. And I was living that bodybuilding lifestyle. I was doing what I had to do to be a bodybuilder. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm just making sure whenever I return, everything is good.
Yep.
I left good, I'm gonna come back good. You know what I'm saying? I don't want
Sure.
any doubts, any questions, anything questioning my legacy at all for anything.
Mm-hmm.
I never want to go down in history as one of those people. You know what I mean? And because that's something that can just tarnish you, no
Mm-hmm.
matter how good you are. There's gonna always be that, but you know, and I
Yep.
don't want that. I don't want that. I don't want that at all.
No, you see it too often.
Yeah. So I'm I'm going to just do what I got to do, and hopefully I can be back by January, February of next year now. So another year goes by. But I feel good. I feel good overall, man. Like no injuries. I'm still, getting my body worked on, trying to get everything loose, getting it back balanced like it used to be. But the training is going great. Dieting is going great. Every step of preparation so far is good.
No, fantastic. That's good to hear. I know I was excited. I got a random text message or message from you a few months back. It was yeah, maybe like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I had posted something online just randomly about like, wouldn't it be really awesome to see Rumble Johnson in there mixing things up in the heavyweight division, just kind of throwing something out on social media. And you lit me up and were like, hey, you posted about something. Don't say anything. And I'm like, this can't be real. But I'm glad to see that it wasn't just you being a smartass, and that I every day, man, I see you on your way to the gym. You're putting in the work. You look like you're getting in shape. Um,
Trying to, man. Trying to. It's still it's not tough. It's not tough to get in shape. You know, my body will just adjust to whatever I have to do.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, it's still a process. You know, but it's fun for me now. Before it was just a job. Now it's just for fun. You know what I mean? So I take it serious. Definitely take it serious, and but I'm having fun now. So when you have somebody that's having fun, that's somebody that's like they don't care. They don't give a shit. They're just gonna have as much fun as they can and go all out and let the chips fall where they may. So that's what I'm about to do.
No, that's awesome. I know I'm not the only one that's excited. So
Yeah.
everybody talking about this, and then it kind of died off, ironically enough, with how quick news cycles are. But being the fact that you're down in Florida, what's your take on Tiger King? Did you even watch that stuff, or?
Yeah, I watched some of it, man. I thought it was crazy. I didn't watch the entire thing because it just started to be a bunch of crap, but it was entertaining for sure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what's his name? Joe
Joe
Exotic.
Exotic.
Joe Exotic became an overnight celebrity. That's what he was wanting anyway. Um, I mean, if you want this dude had how many husbands?
2, maybe 3.
Two, three at the same time. It's like, and this dude's out here can't even get a woman. You know what I'm saying? And this dude is rocking 2 or 3 dudes, and like, he was living his life though. He was living his life to the fullest. He just hated that woman. You know, Karen or whatever her name is.
Carol Baskin.
Yeah, that's whatever.
That bitch Carol Baskin.
That's it. But I think he could have did a better job of how those animals were raised though and taken
Oh,
care of.
right. I know.
I wasn't feeling that, and I'm not saying that I do everything perfectly, not even by any means, but I know I wouldn't have it looking like that.
Yeah, it was a little bizarre how they justified certain things.
Yeah,
And I'm still like in awe. The dude that rolled in with like the
Ferrari.
obviously, yeah, the guy with like all the affliction gear and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
still running the park. I left the documentary thinking like there's going to be some serious heat coming this man's way, but
he is. Like I said, I didn't watch the whole thing.
yeah,
So.
yeah. I've been following more of the after show stuff. I just saw a YouTube clip. It's pretty funny. These 2 guys actually convinced Carol Baskin to give her first interview, and they told her it was going to be on Jimmy Fallon. And so they got her to show up to the Zoom meeting. And then at the last second, they're like, yeah, Jimmy can't be on camera with you. So you won't see him, but he'll see you. And they did like a spoof call where they had recordings from other segments that he talked about cats. And so they played her questions and just messed with her. And then she got off the call, had no idea. And then it's this huge YouTube video talking about how they tricked her into this call. It's hysterical.
And she can't do anything about it either, can she?
No, and they talked through like in order for this to not be able to be prosecuted, we needed her to agree to this. So they like show how they coax her into like agreeing to things. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
And you know what? I guarantee you, her little husband, dude, look like he worked for fucking IBM or Apple or whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
The guy on the leash.
I'm just like, dude, she is running you like ragged right now. But I guarantee you, he filed a lawsuit. He tried to file a lawsuit.
Yeah.
He
Oh, I'm
he,
sure.
he looked like the type of guy that's the first thing he want to do is file a lawsuit if he doesn't get his way.
100%. Yeah, it was. I'm more and more convinced, though, man. I posted something in my Instagram story. I was like, this simulation's getting crazier and crazier every day. Some little kid stole a Lamborghini to drive it to, or stole his parents' car to drive to LA to buy a Lamborghini. He was 5 years old.
Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Check it out, man. It's this kid, like over the last few days, he got mad at his mom and dad because he wanted a Lamborghini. They told him no. He stole the parents' car and started driving to California and got pulled over by the police for stealing his parents' car. I'm like, you can't make this up. CNN's reporting that there's aliens that now they're.
I saw something like that, and I heard Trump say something like this. He said something. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I know you guys are tripping right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
it's got to be something else they're trying to like throw us off with.
Man, I'm like every day. I'm like, this is just not. It's less and less real, but
yeah. Times are wild right now.
they sure are. Well, listen, my friend, I'll wrap things up. I'll give you some of your time back this evening, but I do appreciate you hopping on here and chatting it up. We'll definitely need to do it again in the future. Yeah. Social media for you at Anthony_Rumble.
Yep.
On Instagram.
That's on everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You just type in Anthony Rumble. I'm on there somewhere. You can't miss me.
For sure. Well, listen, my man, keep safe. Keep busting your tail. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got going on. And we'll be there rooting for you when you get back in.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
I'll talk soon.
Yeah, man, take care.